The billionaire's daughter looked at me and laughed. "Security," she said loudly. "I think this guy walked into the wrong event." A few guests turned to stare. Someone even started recording. They thought I didn't belong in that room. What they didn't know. Before I tell you what happened next, I'm curious. Where are you watching this from? Drop your city or country in the comments. And if you enjoy stories like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next one. The estate looked exactly like you'd expect from a billionaire family. Tall white pillars, a marble entrance, and a driveway full of cars that probably cost more than most houses. Bentleys, Rolls Royces, even a Ferrari parked near the front fountain. Inside, the ballroom was glowing under crystal chandeliers. Investors, executives, politicians, everyone holding expensive glasses and talking in quiet, confident voices. When I walked in, a few conversations slowed, not loudly, just enough to notice. Two men near the bar glanced at me, then glanced again. A woman whispered something to her husband. Rooms like this have a certain look, and apparently, I didn't match it. That's when she approached me, Victoria Wexford, the host's daughter. Elegant dress, confident posture, the kind of confidence that comes from growing up around power. She studied me for a moment, then came the laugh. "Security," she said loudly. "I think this guy walked into the wrong event." A few nearby guests chuckled. Someone lifted their phone slightly, probably pretending to text, but the camera lens was pointed directly at me. The security guard walked over. "Sir," he said politely, "may I see your invitation?" I handed him the envelope. Victoria crossed her arms. "This dinner is private. Family, partners, investors." Her eyes moved slowly from my shoes to my jacket. "You must have misunderstood the address." Behind me, someone whispered, "Maybe he's staff." Another voice replied quietly, "No staff dresses like that." The guard opened the envelope. He looked at the card. Then he paused. He looked at me again, then back at the card. That small moment didn't go unnoticed. Victoria leaned forward. "Well?" she asked. But before he could answer, a deeper voice came from across the room. "Is there a problem here?" The crowd shifted slightly. People stepped aside. An older man walked toward us. Daniel Wexford, the billionaire hosting the entire evening. He looked first at the security guard, then at his daughter, then at me. For a second, his expression stayed neutral. Then recognition hit. "Marcus?" he said. The tone of his voice changed instantly. He walked forward and shook my hand firmly. "I've been waiting for you." The guard immediately stepped back. Victoria blinked in confusion. "Dad, you know him?" Daniel slowly turned to face the small crowd gathering around us. His voice became louder, clearer. "This," he said, "is Marcus Hill." He paused deliberately. "The principal investor behind the port expansion project." A glass stopped halfway to someone's lips. A man slowly lowered the phone he had been recording with. Daniel continued. "He's the man bringing $500 million into this partnership." The whispers disappeared completely. Victoria looked like the floor had disappeared under her. "You mean he's the investor?" Daniel nodded slowly. "Yes." Then he turned to his daughter. His voice dropped. "Victoria," he said quietly, "you just tried to remove the man funding this entire project." The room went still. You could actually feel the embarrassment spreading through the crowd. Daniel faced me again. "My sincere apologies if there was any misunderstanding tonight." I looked around the room, at the people who had whispered, at the phones that had been recording, at Victoria standing silent beside her father. Then I smiled politely. "Actually," I said calmly, "the misunderstanding was helpful." Daniel frowned slightly. "How so?"
In business, I said, respect usually tells you whether a partnership will work. I adjusted my jacket, and tonight, I got my answer. Daniel's expression tightened. Marcus, I shook my head gently. The deal is canceled. Several guests gasped. Victoria stared at me in disbelief. You're serious? I didn't raise my voice. I didn't argue. I simply walked toward the exit. No one stopped me, because sometimes the most expensive mistake in business isn't losing money. It's losing the one person who was about to make you $500 million.